starts with the IDC. Put in your password that was given to you and push enter. Wait for the remote app to start. Open up the A1cManager. Enter your credentials. I will put in mine. I will push enter and then another password, push enter again. Now you will see the buttons that you need to access. My meds, I have already reviewed the meds. I'm ready to put my self-monitored blood glucose into the A1cManager. Before I do that, I should review my medications to make sure that they're current. Am I still taking all this before I measured all those blood glucose measurements? If not, this is the time to change it. If you've made a change, say save. You're ready to put your blood glucose measurements in. Double click on my SMBG and the screen opens for entering your blood glucose measurements. Before I start entering these blood glucose measurements, I want to talk about what we mean by a structured meal period profile for the A1cManager. The A1cManager works best with structured blood glucose measurements. What this means is the program needs at least 14 measurements during a week, although more measurements are always better. You need to make 2 fasting blood glucose, which means when you first wake up in the morning. Then you should measure your blood glucose again between 1 hour to 1.5 hours after breakfast on those 2 days. Do the same for lunch and dinner on 2 different days or more often if you wish. Measure 2 times before going to bed, and if you take insulin, measure in the middle of the night at least 1 time. If you have a reaction at any time, note the time and day. Now let's enter the measurements. Click here and enter the month 5-10. Enter. It knows the year, it knows the day, and it wants you to enter your body weight. The cursor is there. I'm going to enter 130. Enter. It now has the whole profile in front of you. I'm going to go over here and put a fasting blood glucose. It's the first blood glucose measurement of the day. It was at 7 o'clock. And it was 133. Enter. I'm now going to go before breakfast. I had breakfast at 9 o'clock, and it was 2 hours later, and I decided to measure my blood glucose again. So at 9 o'clock a.m., I measured 150. Enter. 5 units of regular were taken, and 5 units of MPH was taken. At 10 o'clock, my cursor is here, at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., I was 165. Enter. Now the next measurements that I've taken were at dinner at 7 o'clock. 7 p. Enter. It now becomes 1900 hours, which is military time for 7 o'clock. I was 128. Enter. I took 4 regulars and 10 NPH. Enter. At 8 o'clock, which is an hour later, 8 p, I was 190. Enter. Those are all the measurements for Sunday, May 10. And I'm going to now save this. Notice up here, it now is the 11th. It's the next day. If that is correct, put your cursor in here and push enter. If it isn't correct, escape. you want to enter your blood glucoses for May the, I'm going to enter this, I'm going to change the day to 5-17. Enter. My weight was 130. Push enter. I've already entered that day. Notice that I had a fasting of 93. I didn't measure before breakfast, but I did measure 145 after breakfast at 8 o'clock. I did it before bedtime. Notice now I've entered the 15th and I've entered the 17th. Push save. The 18th, I don't have any numbers for that, and I push escape. I'm going to look at my diary to see what the numbers look like. Notice I have made the 18th, the 19th, and the 20th entered. Want to go back and see a few more? I have the 15th, the 16th, the 17th. I look at all these numbers to see whether they were correct, whether I've entered all the blood glucose. Here I didn't measure, but I must have taken the 3 regular. I always take my insulin before a meal, even though I do not measure. I double-clicked to repeat the number that is here and transfer it over here. Now I'm done with this, and I exit all my A1C because I've finished entering numbers for the time being. Be sure to save everything.